Hello everyone, this is Dr. Sheena Bansal. I hope all of you are doing well. Today we will do fractures of acetabulum. So let's start. Lateral border of true pelvic cavity, quadrilateral surface. Quadrilateral surface and iliopectineal eminence lie adjacent to femoral head, limiting the types of fixation that can be used in these regions. Anterior column extends from iliac crest to pubic symphysis. It includes iliac crest, iliac spines, anterior half of acetabulum, iliopubic eminence, and pubis. Posterior column begins at greater sciatic notch. It includes posterior half of acetabulum, ischial spine, lesser sciatic notch, greater sciatic notch, and ischium. Fracture patterns depend on the position of femoral head at moment of impact. If femoral head is in internal rotation, posterior fracture occurs. If femoral head is in external rotation, anterior fracture occurs. On AP view, you can see ilioischial line, iliopectineal line, teardrop, anterior rim, posterior rim, and dome. Ilioischial line demarcates posterior column, begins at sciatic notch, should pass through acetabular teardrop, goes inferior to medial border of ischium. If teardrop does not overlap the ilioischial line, means posterior column is disrupted. Ilioischial line best seen in iliac oblique view. Giudate view is 45-degree oblique view. Iliopectineal line, landmark for anterior column, begins at sciatic notch, travels along superior pubic ramus to symphysis pubis, best seen in obturator oblique view. Teardrop lies in inferomedial portion of acetabulum just above obturator foramen. Giudate view. It is of two types, obturator oblique view and iliac oblique view. In obturator oblique view, involved side of pelvis is rotated anteriorly 45 degree. It shows iliopectineal line and posterior lip. It also shows spur sign. In iliac oblique view, uninvolved side of pelvis is rotated 45 degree. It shows ilioischial line. So now what is spur and spur sign? Spur, strut of bone extending from sacroiliac joint, connects to articular surface of acetabulum. In spur sign, in both column fracture, this connection is disrupted and is seen on obturator oblique view clearly. Posterior column is approached through Kocher-Langenbach approach. Anterior column is approached through ilioinguinal approach. How will you do intraoperative assessment of any intra-articular hardware of bony fragment? With a finger on the quadrilateral surface, place the hip through a range of motion to detect the presence of any crepitation in the joint. We will start weight bearing after 6 weeks. If medial wall is comminuted, then traction for 6 weeks and weight bearing after 12 weeks is started. Indications for non-operative management are dome of acetabulum is intact, Marta's roof arc angle is more than 45 degree, displacement of fragments is less than 3 mm. Marta's roof arc angle is vertical line drawn from center of hip upwards, a line from center of hip to fracture. Angle between them is Marta's roof arc angle. Indications for operative management: displacement in dome, roof arc angle less than 45 degree, unstable fractures, intra-articular and impacted bone fragments, displacement of fragments more than 3 mm. Retained bony fragments in the joint can lead to chondrolysis, moral level lesion, localized area of subcutaneous fat necrosis over the lateral aspect of hip caused by some trauma that causes the acetabular fracture. If we operated through it, it has higher rate of post-op infection. Posterior wall or posterior column, we use Kocher-Langenbach approach. In interior wall or interior column fractures, we use ilioinguinal approach. If both columns are fractured, combined or extensile triradiate approach is used. Kocher-Langenbach approach is done in lateral or prone position. Incision starts over greater trochanter, extending distally approximately 10 cm over lateral aspect of thigh, proximally towards posterior superior iliac spine. External rotators are cut midway to prevent sply of head of femur. Kocher-Langenbach approach plus transtrochanteric osteotomy is done when involvement of superior dome is there. Ilioinguinal approach is done in supine position, incision 2 to 3 cm above pubic symphysis. Carry it laterally across lower abdomen to the anterior superior iliac spine. Continue it posteriorly along iliac crest. First window is created between ilium and iliopsoas muscle with femoral nerve. Second window is between iliopsoas muscle with femoral nerve and external iliac vessels. Third window is medial to external iliac vessels. Complications are heterotopic ossification, nerve injuries, increased risk with fracture posterior wall or posterior column. Intraoperative sciatic nerve monitoring using somatosensory evoked potentials can decrease injury. Femoral nerve injury due to overzealous retraction of iliopsoas muscle. Superior gluteal nerve in greater sciatic notch can be injured during accident or surgery. Lateral cutaneous nerve of thigh can be injured in ilioinguinal approaches. External iliac artery or femoral artery may be injured when you mobilize vascular compartment from iliopectineal fascia. Superior gluteal artery may be injured during exposure of greater sciatic notch. It may injure when to visualize lateral wall of ilium. Forceful retraction of gluteus medius is done. Significant hemorrhage during the ilioinguinal approach. If we forget to identify connection between external iliac artery or inferior epigastric artery with the obturator artery, infections can occur, AVN can occur. After 21 days of fracture acetabulum, changes occur in surrounding soft tissue, surfaces remodel and lose their anatomic fit. Muscles attached to individual fragments shortens. Fracture lines will still be present in the articular cartilage even though they are indistinguishable on the cortical bone surface. We end our session here. If you like this video, kindly subscribe. Thank you very much.